What's going on, everyone? Jeremy here from the Quartering. I hope you're having an absolutely wonderful day. The staff at the Department of Education is terrified. That's right, terrified, as DOGE has ascended upon one of the most corrupt wastes of money in history, and they've already begun cutting. My name's Jeremy. This is the Quartering. I hope you're enjoying my content. If you are, please do leave a like on the video. If you haven't yet, please do subscribe or follow down below. I'm live stream every Monday through Friday at 1 Eastern over on Quartercast on YouTube. If you're a YouTube only viewer, it will be linked in the description below. Trying to get to 100,000 subscribers by my birthday. It's probably going to be super hard. Or download the Rumble app and follow the Quartering there. That's my preferred place of viewership. Elon Musk's nerd army stormed into the Department of Education on Tuesday and has already saved over $900 million. These numbers, I get, like, I have this feeling that I'm going to continue to upload videos and, like, people will be less and less interested, or they'll be, like, less, wowed, so to speak. Because it's like, how can I, 900 million, a billion, 400 billion, 300 billion, 600 million, 19 million. These are all numbers that really none of us can even comprehend. I suppose perhaps there may be one uber wealthy individual that watches my videos. But for most of us, anything more than a couple hundred grand is hard to even imagine. Elon Musk's nerd army came in, did some work in one day. Musk's DOGE lieutenants, Akash Baba and Ethan Chautran, both 22, already have access to the department, NBC News reported. As many as 16 DOGE team members have entered the premises as the agency began to be ripped apart. Representative Melanie Stansberry prescribed the terror agency staff are feeling after Musk's team entered to actively dismantle the institution. Look, these people are human. I get it. And look, I don't believe that everyone that works at the Department of Education is some sort of piece of garbage. I'm sure there are good people that work there. The same thing for even USAID, right? It's possible that there are good people that work there. And, I don't like to just like, there are bad teachers, but I think most teachers are good people who care about kids. Even though on this channel, we'll often report on, the woke weirdos or the lunatics. Representative, they are in the building on the 6th floor, canceling grants and contracts, she said in an interview with HuffPost. Good. It's not legal. They know it's not legal, but they're going to do it anyway. It's funny because the Democrats, I think Trump should just keep doging it up, because it's put the Democrats in this position where they have to go on TV every night on CNN or MSNBC and talk about how it's outrageous that they're stopping the wasteful use of American tax dollars. I don't care if you voted for Kamala Harris. I'd be willing to bet 2/3 of Kamala Harris voters do not want their tax dollars spent on trans operas or, trans comic books or, training journalists in Kazakhstan how to use non-gendered language. I don't care if you're a Republican, Democrat, communist, or libertarian. I don't think anybody, when you get them alone, you have a beer or a couple soda pops with them, and you ask them, what their opinion is on this scenario, there's no way on God's green earth that they are going to be like, yeah, I'm cool with my money going to that. No, I don't want my money. I want to fund, trans operas in Kazakhstan instead of paying my rent. She added that she expects the agency to be dissolved in the coming days. The Department of Education was targeted by Donald Trump during his campaign. He is keen to dismantle the so-called deep state, constantly working against conservatives. Look, even Bill Maher said, let me look up this Bill Maher quote on the Department of Education, because even he, a guy with TDS, Department of Education, some like insane number here.
There is so much to cut, but there's a way to do it. For example, I read the Justice Department's Environmental Division. They want to cut.
Fine.
And there's also the EPA's Environmental Justice Office. So the EPA has a justice office.
Right.
And the Justice Department has an environmental office. How about everybody just do their own job?
Right.
It reminds me of the fact that we have, I'm saying there is all this. We have like 4 Air Forces. Like we have the Air Force,
right.
But the Navy has an Air Force, and the Army has an Air Force, and everybody has an Air Force.
And I bet they're expensive, by the way.
And the police department here, I think, has an Air Force, too. It's like...
I mean, it's hard to... Here's his take on Department of Education.
The public is aware of the mismanagement, the improper payments.
What about the Department of Education? Now, I don't know that much about it, but I've never read good things.
Right.
Rahm Emanuel, who I agree with on almost everything, here was a quote. He said, 1/3 of 8th graders can't read, and now he wants to close the department. And I thought, that's probably why they can't read.
Hello, McFly.
Or at least partly. I mean... the numbers keep getting worse and worse and worse. And I don't know if the Department of Education is anything it doesn't really, I don't know what it does.
Nothing.
Except
take our money.
It's sort of a middleman. It doesn't like run classrooms or do stuff like that.
No,
I don't think it makes policy. So where are you on something like that?
I think that the Department of Education has to essentially be closed. A lot of the authorities got to get sent back to the states. The dollars we appropriate actually need to go directly into the hands of parents.
Yes.
So that they can use those resources in their states and in their communities to find the best outcome for their children. When the Department of Ed was created in 1977, our reading scores and math scores for kids 4th and 8th grade were higher than they are today.
No.
So it's not worked.
I mean, I read this, I'm stealing this from Nellie Bowles' column, but in the Michigan, the contract from the teachers union says, you cannot be fired for getting caught drunk as a teacher until you do it for a 5th time.
Uh-huh.
What?
Yeah, the first 4 times, you're good.
They didn't take the Pete Hegseth vow.
Counseling.
I mean, I don't care. I mean, again, these people, I think that unless you're like one of the scumbags who are, you're caught, participating in fraud or this, that, or the other thing, that's fine. You can go. But all the like paper pushers and other people that work there, I'm fine with them getting a very generous severance package. We shouldn't like be firing people with no severance if they're like, they work in the freaking mail room at the Department of Education. Okay. But I mean, give them a fair severance and close it down. That is the fact that these people are quote unquote terrified tells you a lot. Again, I ask, Elon Musk can audit my finances. He can. I don't care. I'm not hiding anything. What do you have to be afraid of if you're doing the right thing? What are you worried about? Musk's DOGE guts nearly $1 billion in the Education Department's research office in 12 hours. I mean, so-called the Department of Government Efficiency has terminated nearly $1 billion in U.S. Department of Education contracts, effectively eliminating a research office that tracks U.S. students' progress. Why do we need to track progress? They're not progressing. They haven't progressed since the department was created in the 70s. After announcing $101 million would be slashed from 29 DEI training grants, on Monday, the DOGE account on Twitter said that Musk terminated 89 contracts worth $881 million on Tuesday. So you put those two together, that's $982 million in 24 hours. $982 million in waste in 24 hours alone. I suspect that number will triple. U.S. Senator Patty Murray, who sits on the Senate's Education Committee and a former preschool teacher, called Musk in a statement an unelected billionaire who's bulldozing a research arm of the Department of Education. Good. You've had 50 years to get it figured out. If you could show me a trajectory, hey, Here's what the reading and math scores were in the 70s. Look how much higher they are now. Heck, if you could say, look over the last 10 years, we're trending up. Excuse me, they can't do that. They haven't been able to do that. You don't get my money anymore. Sorry, not sorry. Now again, to the rank and file at the U.S. Department of Education and even the rank and file at USAID, I would be 100% fine with giving them an extraordinarily generous severance package. 9 months, fine. Okay? Let them go find work somewhere else using their skills that they have. Don't put their families' livelihoods at risk. We've been paying for this stuff for 50 years. I'm comfortable paying for it for another 8 weeks or 8 months. You know, Elon Musk doesn't care if working class kids in America get a good education. They're not getting a good education. That's the thing. Nobody buys this nonsense. It's literal hokum. They are not getting a good education. They haven't been getting a good education. They're cooked. Their education system in America is 100% garbage. We're not even in the top 10 in most categories, but we spend the number one amount of money. You know what I mean? The most amount of money gets spent by us, and we aren't even close to the top 5 or top 10. So stop spending the money because the money isn't working. I support, again, the rank and file being, giving a fair severance package, close this stuff, sell the buildings, and then, of course, don't forget, lower my taxes. Okay? Use this money to give tax cuts. Use this money to reduce the amount of money the Americans are paying into the tax system instead of just keeping it and spending it on other crap. Okay, so I'm watching for that part. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, make sure to leave a like on it. If you haven't yet, please subscribe or follow down below, and we'll talk to you again real soon.